My name is Dan Gonzalez. I've been cooking for about 15 years. I'm currently the chef at the North Division Onion for Landmark Restaurants, Kenville, Isle. And today, with given my background and my knowledge of food that I like to cook, Uncle Dan, kind of rounded up the chefs and decided we should try to use some of our ranch packets and such, not just ranch, and use them in different various kinds of foods. So I decided with my first course today to go ahead and make homemade tortillas using the Chipotle ranch with a little bit of black bean. Roll those out, and they're nice and fresh tortillas, so we cut those up, fried them in a little bit of lard, and served them with a salsa that also has a little bit of Uncle Dan's ranch in it as well. Kind of traditional, well, not so traditional, pico de gallo. My family always uses avocados in theirs. Instead of using onions, I use avocados and tomato. A lot of the Mexican food and stuff I grew up watching my grandmother cook. So, Saturday mornings and stuff like that when we had big Sunday dinners would be, Grandma never used a recipe book or anything like that. She just cooked, which is what I think a lot of cooking is. I think a lot of cooking nowadays is overthought, and it really doesn't need to be. So tomatoes, we'll call it 3 cups of tomatoes, 2 avocados, and one bunch of cilantro chopped. I've been cooking for about 15 years now. I started my career here in Spokane. I washed dishes and did prep work around, and then it came time for me to decide what I wanted to do with my life, and I decided that I wanted to go to culinary school, and I went to the Art Institute of Seattle, and kind of went to school there and listened to my instructors, and I love cooking. It's very therapeutic to me, so one of my favorite things to do. I think that with cilantro in general, I bunch it up and kind of cut it as thin as I can this way, and then I'll go back and cut it the other way as thin as I can. I think that a lot of people sometimes say cilantro tastes soapy. If it does taste like that, it's because it was beat up and kind of bruised. It's one of those things where it's almost like, I think you would treat cilantro like you would treat basil, and obviously it's a very delicate herb, and it has potential to kind of go south really quick. Yeah, a quick stir, and then in this case we'll do a little bit of lime juice, and then I have a mixture of more added salt to Uncle Dan's Chipotle, and we'll mix that with the salsa, and it'll bring out Chipotle flavor. That way when people are eating the chips, they have the Chipotle in it as well. Just a little lemon squeeze. Limes, sorry. The lime juice will keep the avocados from going south fast. And again, this is the mixture of salt with Uncle Dan's Chipotle. So the chips, made them this morning. I made my own fresh tortillas. I used some black beans as well as the Uncle Dan's Chipotle mix. Instead of using salt and pepper, I used that. So that's all mixed together, and then I cooked the tortillas, and I went ahead and cut them so they're in nice little random shapes. Yeah guys, so I always check, and you can see as soon as you put something in, it should start bubbling just like that. So this is good to go. And we'll do small batches and make sure everything cooks properly and they're not too stacked on each other. That way it's not overcrowded, and then also if you put too much in, the oil will go everywhere. So they're already starting to get close. You want them to be nice and golden brown. Once they get to that darker brown, they start to get a little bit bitter, and then we'll just taste all the bitter and we won't taste the good Chipotle and black beans that are inside them. So again, a lot by feel and touch, and because they're homemade chips, they're obviously a little bit thicker than your traditional restaurant chips. I mean, I'm making everything by hand, so it's not like a tortilla press that'll get you the exact same thickness all the time. Stuff like this and being super rustic is the way that my grandma taught me how to cook. So again, you're looking for that nice golden brown. Obviously these are really hot, but don't try it at home. So we'll do a couple batches, and since those are already nice and fresh out, We'll just take a little bit of the seasoning salt that we talked about and we'll go ahead and kind of sprinkle them on. We'll keep adding layers and then we'll mix it all together. The look of the bubbles, that's how hot it is. If the bubbles were super big, it'd be a little too hot. And I think a lot of people would think this is oil, like heat burning off of it, but it's steam. Lard has a very high smoke point, so you can cook things a lot hotter than say your traditional fryer. So now we'll just get this platter nice and ready. We'll put the salsa has been sitting for a little while, so all the juices and stuff are kind of coming out of the tomatoes, and you got the lime juice in there. So that's all good to go. We're adding this to this nice plate here, to the bowl, and then we'll go ahead and put the chips kind of around it and come up, see how people like them.
How you doing, bro?
Good, good. So what I went ahead and made tortillas ahead of time. They're a little more rustic, so they're a little thicker, and I put a little black beans in them, and I used your Uncle Dan's Chipotle ranch.
Oh, great.
So the tortillas are made with just that and then pressed out, cooked. The chips are sprinkled with salt, and again, more Uncle Dan's Chipotle ranch, and your salsa is also incorporated.
Oh, great. So
Chipotle ranch as well.
Are we ready to give them a try?
Yes, we are.
Oh, wonderful. Oh boy, that is delicious.
Right on.
Dan, you did a number. Have you tried these, Chris? Well, I know everybody's going to enjoy that.
So, these look great.
It looks like the...
Really good.
Isn't that great?
That's fantastic. Real organic. It's bright and fresh. Yeah, that's terrific. Good one.
As an Englishman and a connoisseur of Mexican food, these chips are one of the best chips I've ever tasted. Compliments to Dan, the chef. They're wonderful.
I enjoy it. It's got a beautiful flavor. Mixing the ranch, Chipotle ranch dressing in the chip is very clever. And I like how it brings a little bit of a bite to it. I think the seasoning in the salsa as well really brings forward the bite and the smokiness of the seasoning. So I think it's a hit. I love it.
The flavor in these chips, I don't know how he captured that, but I have not tasted anything like this before. And I eat a lot of chips and love chips.